here, getting started. Start off with a couple of huge inhales and exhales. Body super relaxed, comfortable. Take a moment to scan through the body as if it's like a printer scanner where it scans with the laser, starting up at the toes, scan up the feet, scan up the calves, the knees, the thighs and hips, scan up the belly, up the torso, arms and hands up the shoulders and the neck and the face. Everything's in this good, comfortable spot. Feel how it is to take a huge breath in. And a nice relaxed exhale. Good. So this kind of relaxation is what I love out of my yoga. And aerial yoga is amazing because it gives us such benefits of relaxation. It also helps us to become stronger no matter where we're at. And so this class today, what I was thinking of, a little intention to keep in the back of the mind, is the intention of just imagining that, so there's some Native American lore where parts of you get kind of torn off and lost as you go throughout your life. It's like you're losing chunks of your soul when really hard situation happens. And there's different ceremonies that they do when they call all parts of themselves back to themselves right now. And so I kind of was taking that visualization for class today. It's like us becoming whole again, becoming unified, becoming one with ourselves. Whether we imagine that as maybe those little chunks of our souls that got lost, or maybe we imagine it as our highest version of ourself, meeting ourself, this imperfect version that we are right now. Maybe we're meeting in the middle, becoming closer to one. And so whichever visualization works best for you, just imagine that today's a day where we're working on oneness. So whether we're in the stronger stuff that might make us more stressed, or whether we're in these deeply relaxing moments, imagine all of it's for our good. All of it's to help us become one again. And that's our intention, our thought for the day. So let's start off with some nice stretches for the physical body. Let's stretch the arms all the way to the back wall. And then with the arms stretching back, let the shoulders start to wiggle to the right. And shoulders wiggle to the left. Take a couple of those to each side. This helps to stretch out shoulders, stretch the side ribs. Good. After the current cycle, return back through the middle. Hug your right knee into the chest. That right foot can do a couple of ankle rolls. Loosen up some tightness that might be here. It's like we're calling this part back to us now. This foot is becoming one with us. When you're ready, straighten this right leg up to sky. We're helping the hamstring out, so grab onto the leg, pull it in a way that feels useful. And we head to a hip opener from here. If you get confused, just watch this front row of people. I've got people that have attended a lot of classes on this front row. But the right heel hooks to the back left side, the side that's close to our ears. Once you've hooked the right heel to back left, slide the shin in. So it's kind of like a pigeon pose, but we're laying on our back. Again, if you need to peek at this front row, go right ahead. Obviously, don't pull in so far to injure the knee, but let it get invited inward to the amount that feels useful for the head. Let's take 2 more breaths for this half. And let's start to free out this right leg. Sometimes I'll do one more little stretch up to sky and drop it all the way down next to the other. Same side for left. So left knee comes in first. Give it a good hug, pull the knee into chest. A couple of ankle rolls can feel really nice. Sometimes inviting all parts of ourselves back to ourselves now is kind of like coming out of numbness. We've been completely unaware of our foot today. This is a chance to return to it. When you're ready to stretch leg up to sky, go for it. Poke the hamstring out, grab onto the leg, pull it in. Two more breaths. And then hip opener for this one. So this is left foot looking to the back right. Excuse me, that helps the knee swivel open. And then just slide the shin in. Gonna be conscious, present. One more huge inhale. Nice exhale. Start to free out this leg. Good. Once it's relaxed down, start to kick the feet free off the front. The fabric's going to the knees. The hands can help us sit up. Let's invert. Those of us that are new to inversions, don't feel like you have to be upside down super long, but it's really helpful to get the body to flip. It's really useful for the spine. So what we do is we slide our hands to the back end of the fabric. Our thumbs are hooked in. Use that grip to push fabric to about where the pant line is. I promise that'll make it more comfortable as we head into it. So once you push it down to that spot, lean halfway back and grab the hands back on like a tabletop. And then wide legs, make sure that we won't fall out. Ankles wrap around. As soon as you've got the wrap, hands to let go. You can just hang upside down. So again, like I mentioned, you don't have to be upside down super long. If the head is, 2 or 3 breaths and it's like, oh, okay, I don't know if I want to do this very long today, that's okay. Listen to your body. That's the biggest thing that I could ever recommend to anybody. Sometimes there's intuitive movements that the body just wants to take. Imagine that's part of the journey of helping us return to oneness. So that intuitive movement might be arm stretches, like the hands clasping behind, stretching open. You might be walking hands to the side of the mat closer to the mirror, helping the spine take a little bit of a back bend. Sometimes just hanging is what we need too. So many variations, just play with it. I like to keep us more or less as a class in the inversion about as long as at least half of us are here. So don't feel any sense of rush, but also, like I said, you don't have to feel like it's a competition with everybody. It's just you listening to your body. Note if you are out before others, you can either come back to Shavasana for a little while or take floating child pose, which is hooking the elbows behind and letting the shoulders come forward. So nice resting pose. That being said, we've still got more than half of us upside down, so no sense of rush. Just keep on enjoying it. Those that want to be relaxing here. And the floating child pose is hooking your elbows just. Got it. Right there. Unwind the legs and you'll pop up. Good. Hook your elbows, lean forward. Beautiful. Looks like the majority are out. If you want to be upside down, just 3 or 4 more breaths, that's fine. Grab the spot by your inner thigh. There you go. That'll work. Okay, let's all give our heads some time to flip back to this orientation again. Sometimes there's neck tightness, so this is a good chance just to roll the head over to right shoulder and roll the head over to left shoulder. Just easing some of that tension out. We sit all the way up from here. Let's take the arms to the inside. Our right knee will come into the chest. See if you can clasp your hands around the ball of the right foot, extending it up. If the extension doesn't feel very complete today, you can walk your hands further down to the shin or ankle instead. Let that be the grip. So let's be a nice extension upward. Like legs return to me now. Let's become one. A huge inhale. A nice exhale. Release this right leg down. Let's do the same thing on left. Clasping around ball of foot or maybe ankle. Let it reach upward. One more huge inhale. Nice exhale. Go ahead and release this side down. Arms on the outside. The way we dismount is arms on the outside and then just lift your hips up and forward. That makes it much easier than trying to face dive the arms through. So go ahead and keep the fabric behind your, kind of under your armpit area in front of your shoulders. And you're gonna slide the fabric up to about shoulder blade area and then come back to take all the slack out of the fabric. Your feet are gonna walk back up under the plumb line. So for the back row, it's pretty easy because it's about where the shadow line is. For the front row, you kind of have to just spot by about where that plumb line is. So that means right under those metal pieces. Good. So we're gonna do a couple of cycles. This isn't super intense on the knees, because you just drop down through the center and then use your quads to help you lengthen forward. So we're gonna do a couple of cycles. It'll look like this. With our inhale, we stretch the arms backward. With the exhale, arms flat through the sides. You drop low and then come to this forward. Good. Slowly bend the knees. Arms extend back. Beautiful. If it doesn't feel like it's quite in the right spot, so just want to go ahead and scoot your feet just a little bit backwards. Good. Okay. So let's try to go 5 breaths together. So inhale, prep here. Exhale, go forward. Soft inhale to go back. Good. 4. And 3. 2. Last one. Beautiful. Stretch back. And then bring your hands to clasp behind the glutes. And try to pull the arms away from the glutes. Allowing the shoulders to stretch that way. Yep, you can take a little bit of a back bend here if you like. Good. As head comes up, release the clasp of hands. If the fabric started to work its way into the armpits, slide it back down under shoulder blades. And then we're scooting ourselves forward, so now it's glutes under the plumb line. So knees are forward like we're sitting in a chair. And so from this spot, let's slide our right foot forward. We're gonna do 5 kicks of this right leg up to sky. On the 5th one, we'll try to catch it. So right leg tries to kick up as high as you can. 5 and 4, 3, 2, last one, try to catch it. Similar stretch to when we were sitting in the fabric. Feel that hamstring lengthen upward. Good. Take that right ankle, rest it on left thigh, and allow this right knee to drop open as much as feels good for the hip. Straighten your left leg. And then you're gonna let that right leg twist until the foot plants the left. Good. From here, I like to try to help my spine return, so my torso back forward. Sometimes it's useful to open the arms to help me complete that rotation of the upper body away from the lower body. Excuse me. Good, and let's unwind for the second side. So right foot back underneath you. It's like we're in the chair again. Good, slide the left leg forward. 5 kicks up to sky. So when you're ready, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, catch. Good. And place that ankle on the right thigh. Let the hips drop down. All of our core muscles have relaxed. The hips wrap opening. Straighten the right leg. And then twist until you can plant that left foot to the right. Upper body spirals back forward. Maybe the arms open to help it out. Beautiful. Unwind the feet and then lower one knee at a time to the ground. This will be a nice camel pose. So open the arms. Yes. And then let your hips actually go forward until you're in a back bend that feels really good for your side. Inhale. Exhale. Come with your weight over your knees again. Unwind the arms from the fabric. Take the fabric out in front of you. And then puppy pose. Upper body is going forward. This can be a cat-cow. So you could round spine up to sky and then drop belly down. You could also add in a soft sway. So anything that just helps that spine to wake up really nicely. Give it a couple of really good breaths. Holding shoulders out as well. Beautiful. Let's ease our way back through the center. Roll the spine back upright. Step your right foot to top of mat. Your back toes will tuck and then that knee lifts. Take a couple of angles. So first here, lean forward. This one allows me to get into that back calf by pushing that back heel backwards. Okay, torso back upright. This one's for the psoas, the front of the left hip. The front knee still strongly bent. Good. And this is like a power pose. So we're going to turn this into a little workout. If you need to shorten stance to be able to use your legs, go for it. The idea here is it'll look like this. The left knee comes forward and then taps backward. I'm going to try to go for 10. So when you're ready, the knee comes forward. 10. Keep breathing. 9. 8. 7. 6. And 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Let the foot rest behind. Get into the stance where both heels are flat, both legs can straighten, and then a nice pyramid pose. Let the upper body go directly forward. Sometimes those moments of effort, it's like we lose part of ourselves. It's like, I'm no longer in the present moment. So let's allow all parts of us to return back to ourselves in this moment. We're going to pivot the heels so that the toes face to the left long edge of the mat. So wide angle forward fold facing to that long left side. Put on the heels back to face forward, pyramid. One last stretch here, 2 straight legs. The right elbow points down to ground. And then this left straight arm is going to sway further to the right side, so to front door. That should allow us to feel that left shoulder and left side rib area much better. Okay, so return the arms forward, soften the knees, roll the spine up. Let's switch the legs just from here. So left forward, right back. And first we're going to the deep lunge. So feel free to widen the stance if you like. Get it to the point where when we lean forward, you can push the back heel backward into the calf stretch. For me, if the heel's actually on the ground, usually the calf isn't quite at its maximum. So then I would widen stance. Okay. Torso comes upright. This one's for the psoas, the front of the right hip. Just by leaning up, it feels that stretch on the front of the right hip. Good. Okay, if you need to shorten stance to a usable distance, go for it. And the right knee is going to come forward and back 10 times. Here is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Beautiful. Land in a way that the heels, both of them are down, 2 straight legs. And then lean forward, pyramid. Feel that heart alive. Sometimes we resist the things that are more energizing, but it's like this whole new freshness to life. The breath flowing, the heart going. Will your mind immediately return to a relaxed state as if we're laying in Shavasana. Now pivot the heels to face the long right edge of the mat. Wide angle forward fold. Okay. Pivot toes back forward, 2 straight legs. We're leaning back forward, and this will be that extra side body stretch. So now it's the left elbow that points down. Straight arm of the right side starts to lean over to the left. Inhale. Exhale. 2 straight arms forward. And then soften the knees to roll the spine up. Let's step our feet together. And here we can take our hip hang. We've earned it. We've earned a good inversion. So fabric, I like to go to my tippy toes so I can make sure the fabric goes into my bones, not my guts. Bones makes it so much more comfortable. From here, I want to take all the slack out of the fabric. So I usually step forward and lean forward right into the fabric and my hips. So from this point, you can start to free out the hands as you drop hands to floor. And then it's a good 3 or so steps backwards to get downward facing dog with hips under plumb line. Good, so sometimes down dog is the best that our hips can handle. If you're going for a hip hang, lift up the toes, even hug the hands around the knees. Good. If it's ever intense, you can come out, don't stress, or go back to the down dog. You can also have a little bit of play room here. So you could play with the hands going back to the floor and then lengthening the legs, lifting them up and down, or swaying them left and right. Just play with how all of this affects the body. Just note, if you're lifting the knees above the hips, you have to go wide, otherwise the fabric will start to slip off of the knees. That wide principle is super useful in yoga. Aerial yoga keeps you inside. If you're trying to get the fabric into your belly, I would get it more in the skeleton, because belly, it just kind of squishes things. It's one that does take time to get used to, though. But if it's intense, don't stress, you can come out. Okay, very good. Yeah, it's awesome when you find that point where it's just coming. Walk up and even higher if you're not on the floor. Then you can lift your legs up and down. Yeah, try to keep it right in the bones. Yeah, so if you're grabbing like that, I call that your pan, basically. You're shedding. love to see a class that really loves their inversions. So this is awesome to watch. Again, don't feel any competition though. It's you listening to your body. So if anybody has reached a point where you're about wanting to come out, you'll start to work your feet back to be flat on the floor, and then slowly, slowly roll your head up. When you get up, you can take the fabric behind your shoulder blade. Good. So we're in no sense of rush. Those that are still upside down, we still got several of you. Those that are up, I usually like to take my hands behind my head so my head doesn't have to kind of like hold itself up. And I'll usually bend my right knee, swaying to the right. And then bend my left knee, swaying to the left. Good. Looks like most of us are out. So especially those that just got out, let's give it just a little bit more time to make sure that your body has a chance to flip that blood pressure. Those that have been out for a little while, you can always add in a shoulder stretch. Just let your right arm be straight and then left arm puts it in for a moment. Let the head tilt in ways that feel like it's exaggerating that stretching even more. And then the left arm can do the same thing. So this is you communicating with me about how your body is doing with this flipping back upright. So when you reach the point you're happy, you think you can move on, walk yourself backwards to help me know I'm good, I'm free, I'm ready to go. Those that need a little bit more recovery, don't feel rushed. You're upside down for quite a while. So doing good. This just helps me know where you're at. If you get out before others, just come to a nice half forward fold vertical breaths. Okay. As long as you're feeling pretty good, let's roll our way back upright. With this fabric in front of us, let's take our right ankle inside. So we've got several variations based on where you're at. I'm going to go from easiest to hardest, especially hardest for balance. So easiest is just hand sliding down. You just let the torso come closer to the thigh. Next, harder is instead of sliding down, you slide the hands up to take a splits forward. The third hardest, I don't really recommend if you've got balance issues, but you keep the grip high and you hop yourself forward so that the leg itself is just naturally lifted just by the shape. So that's okay as long as balance is iffy, but this one's the most likely to get you to fall if you start to swing out of it. So only if balance is doing good. Don't feel like you immediately have to be in the deepest spot. Give the hamstring some time. It's like we're returning back to that spot now, back to oneness with that leg. Beautiful. So if you hopped forward, hop back. If you leaned forward, come back over standing leg. We're going to allow this leg to open out to the right side. You're going to want to try to find a spot where the leg feels like it's floating. So if it feels like it's work to be here, shift your standing foot slightly forward or slightly backward until it kind of just floats off at your side. So when you find that standing spot where it just kind of stays, have both hands bunch up both ends of the fabric. The right hand slides down, the left hand slides up. And then from here, if you want a little more, you could sink your weight directly to that right side. So you'll definitely want to hop forward. You're a little far back right now. And now all of this is good balance learning too. Helps us learn where plumb line is, where our body is in relation to it. Okay, so the strand that's further down from this angle, keep the left hand on it. The right knee is gonna bend, sending the foot behind us, and then the right hand grabs the other strand. So it ends up in a cross behind our back. Awesome. Okay, so when we've got that knee bent, we're gonna take a little quad stretch. All we have to do is just lean backward into the fabric. By that right knee pointing down, it should be just in the quad stretch, just leaning back. Just one hand on each side, you did good. Yep, just like that. Swivel the knee back. Yep, that's it. But keep it at the ankle as you swivel it back. That's it. Okay, take weight back over standing leg. Slide the hands up, and then just see how much you can straighten the leg backward. It might not be much, kind of like a dancer's pose. If you're close to straight, you could also sink the weight further back like a splits. Beautiful. And what we're gonna try to do is find the leg as straight as it can at any point. Leave just the left hand grabbing on for the balance. This right leg tries to straighten as much as it can as it goes through the side. There's a point where your knee will point back upward, and then you'll face the leg all the way forward. Beautiful. Then let's switch sides. So you can either just step this foot out, step the other foot in, or the swinging switch is grip up high, lock the leg in the fabric straight, and then you just step the other foot in, the first foot out. Okay, so the first one's just the stretch version. One is leaning down. Version 2 is slide the hands up, split forward. Version 3 is hop your body forward and stay here with balance. Choose the version that's gonna work best today. I don't recommend option 3 unless you know your balance is doing really awesome. Rockstar balance. Okay, start to travel back upright with the torso. This is the point where the leg's gonna start opening out to the side. If it doesn't stay, it kind of just immediately wants to go back forward. That shows you, okay, I need to hop forward in relation to my plumb line. And then the leg should kind of float. If it sinks backward, that means you're too far forward. So find the spot where it just stays to that left side. Both hands grab both strands. Right hand up, left hand down. If you want more, sink more weight to left. Inhale. Let's exhale. Weight comes back over standing leg. Just the right hand stays on for the balance. As we continue to send this leg behind us, there's a moment where you're gonna have to kind of hike the hip up, turn the knee forward, and then that's what lets you bend the knee and it stays at the ankle behind. And the other hand grabs the other strand. So you've got one hand on each side, just rest the fabric behind your shoulders and lean back, quad stretch. back over standing leg. Try to slide the hands up. See how much the leg will straighten backwards. Maybe it's more like a dancer's pose, a nice bent knee shape. Maybe it's almost straight and you even sink some weight backwards like a splits. It's as deep as your body wants. So let's give it one more huge inhale. Exhale. Just the right hand stays on for the safety, the balance. This leg is trying to go as straight as possible. Swiveling through the side, there's that moment when the femur bone turns back up and forward. If you wanted to practice another swinging switch, go ahead. Step in, step out, but it's just for practice, so we'll end up completely outside the fabric. Good. Let's take fabric behind our back. We're gonna head to another little inversion. This one's super similar to our first one that we took. The thumbs slide in from behind. This helps to keep the fabric right at the sacrum. So the first one we went to about pant line. This one's another inch lower, sacrum. It's not sitting bones. It's higher than that, but it's that flat part, that sacrum. So our palms are active to keep it here. It's gonna wanna slip up. So push into it. I like to come to tippy toes, stepping 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. With that stance, I can bend my knees and then lean back, locking it right at my sacrum. Keep the core active, tiptoe forward a couple of steps, and then hands up, knees wide. Awesome. As soon as the knees are wide, you can wrap your feet. Good. Yep, wrap the feet. And as soon as feet are wrapped, you're safe to let go of hands.
Yeah.
Yep, hands up, knees wide, you got it. Wrap the feet, and you're there. You're still. The amount that you're swinging when you come into that, what that does is it shows you how far forward or backward you are at plumb line. So when we do the tiptoe forward, that's what takes us right under plumb line, so there's no swinging at all. Unless, of course, you like it. Sometimes we want to swing a little. That's what makes life fun. Same as the other inversions, if there's little tiny variations you want to play with, like walking one hand forward on the mat, one hand backward, that can take us into a twist. Or just the shoulder stretches we were playing with before. If I'm taking the twist, I try to keep my hips facing the way that they were. So then they're kind of twisting away from my upper body. Also, a little secret here is by inverting like this, we're actually growing taller because gravity tends to make our spine compress as we go throughout the day. So this is helping it to go back to a really long spot, which means that there's not as much pressure on the discs. Yep. Okay, just adjusting. Yeah. This is another spot that takes a little bit of getting used to because there is a lot of pressure in that low back area. So it's like getting, if you've ever used a roller, it's like that intensity that it starts off with. So no, it gets better over time. But there is like kind of one spot that if it goes into that one spot, for me, that's the spot that's most comfortable out of them all. Go ahead and do a little crunch, grab onto the fabric by your inner thighs, and slowly use your core to unwind. Yep, hands up, and slowly tilt. You got it. Good job. And like that, always ask me if you need help. You're like, I'm stuck. So those that are hanging, get as much hang time as you want today. Those that are wanting to be out, when you come out, come to recovery for a couple of breaths. This will give your head some time to flip. And then the thing that we'll head to after that is our Shavasana. So you could either lay on the ground for Shavasana if you want to be grounded today, or you could come back inside like we did at the beginning of class. So no rush. Those that want to be upside down, that's fine. Those that are slowly heading out, take your time. This is all at your pace, your rate. And when you are ready for your final Shavasana, if you're not laying on the ground, you come up, grab that front end, wave it out. And the 5 grips or so, about half of it. I like to take each next step so that way it doesn't trip me and fold itself over. Then, yeah, when you've got about half of it, yep, just like that. Then you can slide in and get your legs in, get your head in. So you want to come up. That's it. That part, left and right. Find the very end of it. The end that's closer. Do it left and right. Step over. Good. And then keep your thumbs hooked as you face to the mirror. So face to mirror, hook your thumbs. About 5 things happen. And then head under the metal pieces first. And just slide that part under your thighs. Beautiful efforts, everybody. Again, if you're hanging, don't stress, just enjoy it. When you get to your Shavasana sooner or later, let yourself imagine whichever version of returning to oneness that you're discussing, whether it's kind of saying like a command, I command all parts of myself to return to myself now, or maybe it's more like introducing yourself to the highest version of yourself. It's like the version you'll be if you were, to continue on an amazing path and become a wise sage one day. That amazing version of yourself that knows all the highest truths. Imagine the Shavasana as time to return to oneness, to meet yourself fully, to be in this state of unity. The best part is, if those visualizations work, great. If not, just be with the breath. Because that's how we're one in this moment. Rather than thinking of past and future, we're right here, right now. We'll be here for a couple of minutes for this Shavasana, just resting. Allow your breath to just be deep and full. We'll begin to deepen our inhales. Deepen the exhales. We'll start to introduce little movements to the body. Take the next minute or two to just slowly stretch out. So I'll give some suggestions if you need them. If you prefer to just stretch intuitively, that's fine. Some people will stretch the arms all the way to the back wall and let the shoulders wiggle right and left again. Some people will take a fetal position, so you keep the body long, but you roll onto one hip. One hip steps on top of the other hip. And from there, you can curl the knees in and arc the spine back. If I'm doing that fetal position, I might do that maybe 2 or 3 slow times on one side, and then flip around to the other hip to just keep the body in good balance. So another minute or so, just slowly waking the body up, returning back to movement, back to breath, back to this present moment. Sooner or later, when you feel good, we'll come up to a comfortable seated place. Join together in front of the heart when we get here. Take a brief moment just to return to that concept of unity. All parts of ourselves working together for our highest good. Just how much better it feels to be more complete like this. Rather than, we use the word scatterbrained, that's very much what it's like to not be in unity. And so with unity, this power that is yoga or yoking all parts of ourselves together. With this to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.